Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be pulling some sacred shards for the second summon rush event for this fusion, Greathoof. So I'm going to be pulling the sacred shards like I normally do, but this is the second lot of sacred shards I would have pulled for this champion. So it's not ideal. I wouldn't have done it normally. I would have only gone for these 5 shards normally, but I messed up earlier on last week and I missed the champion training event. So I missed out on the 5 sacred shards for that. So I'm going to have to work on getting all 20 shards just to be able to pull this champion. It does mean I'm going to get to miss out on some of these other events later on in the fusion, like this artifact enhancement event. So we're going to get pulling shards and we're going to see what we can get. There's a couple of other events that are going on at the moment, some quite unique ones that we haven't really seen before. So we've got this dragon tournament, which is really new. And it's all about making sure you do it in as least turns as possible. The least turns you do, the more points you get in the tournament by the looks of things. Until it's open, we won't know how many points or anything like that. But that's what it looks like it's going to be. And of course, the classic arena, there's nothing, neither of these are anything to do with fusion or this champion training up here. The champion training does have something quite cool going on. If it's going to load. So yeah, if you come first in the tournament, you get the Tatsu, but as you can see from the points of the person in the lead on my tournament, there is absolutely no chance. My measly 400 compared to their 33,000. I don't think I'm going to be pulling this legendary anytime soon. So good luck to the person who's winning. I'm sure they're burning through points. They're playing the game, but I don't have the time to do that. So it's not for me. I'm going to try and get shards. I'm going to try and get champions the normal way, which is pulling shards. Another event that's going on, guys, is we've got the times 10, and it's actually got one of my top 10 most wanted champions in it. I've got Duchess on my Galek account. I've got Pythian on both accounts. I've got 3 of them on one of my accounts. But this guy in the middle, Brogni, is the champion. He's in my top 3 at the moment, and he's a times 10 for this weekend. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I will lose it if I get him. But fingers crossed, if we're going to do a times 10, I'm going to be pulling sacred shards. I can get this guy, and he can finally be part of my clan boss team. I'll go into his kit if I pull him. If not, then I won't talk about him. But there's no point in talking about him on this channel, on this account, or either of my accounts, if I don't pull him, because the chances are I'm not going to pull him for a long time anyway. There's also a guaranteed Godseeker and Neri going on if you pull void shards. So you need to pull 25 void shards and you're guaranteed to get her. If you don't have her and you have 25 void shards lying around, she is an excellent champion and she'll really help you progress your account. So I do think it's a good opportunity to go for her. It's hard to get void shards. I very rarely have 25 and I do Ultra Nightmare, Clan Boss and Nightmare every day and I still don't build up that many. I think the max I ever sort of have is 35 and that's in between, saving up in between times 2 summons, so every other weekend for 6 weeks. So yeah, if you've got those void shards, guys, definitely I would go for her. And fingers crossed, I'm going to pull this Brogni. So what we're going to do on this account, I don't quite have 7 sacreds. The event points is 3,500, which is pretty normal for one of these summon rush events. So that adds up to, if it's 500 points per sacred shard, it adds up to 7, which is what I usually save for, but usually we don't have them twice in the same fusion. So I haven't been able to save up since the last seven sacreds that I pulled. So I'm going to have to pull a different combination of all these shards. So from what I can, from the math that I did, the loose math that I did, I'm going to need to pull 7 ancients, 3 voids, and the 6 sacreds. On my other account, I've got more than enough sacreds, so I'll just be pulling 7 straight up. And before we get pulling shards, guys, if you like my content and want to show me some support, please like this video and subscribe to my page. I've currently got around 65 subscribers, but the big milestone, the one that I want to hit, is 100 subscribers. With that number, I'll know absolutely that I'm doing good content and I'm producing some good videos. So yeah, show me some support, like the video, subscribe to the page. Let's get into it. Right, first things first, we've got 7 ancients on their own. So number 1, if I get a Brogni on either of my accounts, I will be absolutely buzzing. Magma Blood is not Brogni, so he can go. I'm not even going to give him the time of day. On to the next one. So that's number 2. Number 2, Ancient. And actually quite a good champion early on in the game. Coffin Smasher, he's got a decreased attack on his A1. and a HP burn on his A2. So really good for clan boss and really good for keeping that decreased attack on early game. There's a lot better champions in the game for it though. So on to the next one, number 3 Ancient Brogni. Brogni's all I want. I've got the other champions. A Duchess on my Kale account would be pretty good. I don't have Duchess on my Kale account. Metal Shaper, he's good for the Scarab boss in Doom Tower, but otherwise I'm not ever going to use him anywhere else. I used him a bit in Faction Wars because he was already built. On to the next one. I've already lost count of how many Ancients I've pulled. I think this is number 4. We've got an Epic. Grizzled Jarl, another good champion for clan boss early on. Grizzled Jarl has the decrease attack and the decrease defense. Well, I thought Grizzled Jarl was a decreased defense champion, but apparently not. He's got block buffs and increased defense, but his block buffs is on a 3-turn cooldown, which means you can use them to stop the stun in clan boss quite early on if you speed tune properly. But definitely, I think probably gets outclassed later on in the game. On to the next one. Is this number 6? Hopefully it's number 6. I don't mind going over the points, but I'm not. How does that happen? This happened with Pythion. I got 3 copies of Pythion, and I don't understand. I pulled him twice out of shards, and I got him from the fusion. So exactly the same thing has happened with Greathoof Loriaca. Not actually that good a champion, but if she gets a buff, at least I can say that I have 2 of them. If she becomes one of the best champions in the game, then I can have 2 of them. I'm going to keep pulling shards. A legendary is a legendary at the end of the day, in my opinion. So Greathoof Loriaca, she has attacked one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 40% chance of stealing 1 random buff. On her A2, attacks all enemies, has a 75% chance of placing a 50% decreased resistance debuff for 2 turns. Also fills this champion's turn meter by 10% for each decreased resistance debuff placed by this skill. So if you give her enough accuracy, she's got a 100% chance to land. So if you're in dungeon content, then you're going to get a 50% turn meter because the waves have 5 enemies in it. So yeah, I mean it's okay. If she does damage, then it could be okay because you can keep smacking the enemies, but not that interesting really otherwise. On to the next one. So Honor A3 has a block debuffs buff on all allies for 2 turns. Also fills this turn meter by all allies by 20%. So block debuffs again, like Grizzled Jarl, on a 2-turn cooldown, a 3-turn cooldown, which makes her viable for clan boss. But these increased speeds do not. So unless you're going to really speed tune her, then I wouldn't say use her in clan boss. And on her passive, fills this champion's turn meter by 5% for each time an ally buff is removed, transferred, stolen, or expires. So that's her kit. I don't think she's that interesting. She doesn't blow me away with her skill set, but I'm absolutely going to have 2 of them. So maybe I'll start making use of her if I can. On to the next shard, guys. I can't believe that's just happened. I'm pretty happy. I've got a legendary, you know. It's always a nice feeling when you get a legendary, but it's not exactly the legendary that I wanted. So Pathfinder Kate here, and that'll be it for the Ancients, I think. And then we'll just move on to the Void Shards. 3 Void Shards. It was ×2 Voids last week, so I haven't managed to build many up yet, so I thought I might as well use them while it's low. If we were a bit closer to a ×2 Void, then I would save it up. Daywalker, not interesting at all. I feel like I'm going to get all rares in this one. Dagger. And last one. Another rare. Yeah, I was correct. The Amarantine skeleton. Never used him, never looked at his kit, and I'm not going to now. On to the Sacreds. This is the exciting part. You know, this is the fun part, is the Sacreds. Fingers crossed for a Brogni. Hopefully I don't get another Greathoof Loriaca, because that would actually really make me upset. So, let's go. First one, legendary out the gate. That would be lovely. It's an epic. It's a Tumbor. I'm not going to go into his kit. He's an epic. I don't need him. I'm only looking for legendaries. And there we go. There's the first one. Or second one. Astrolith, bomb champion. We are seeing bombs, you know, in the game, but I don't use them. So Astrolith has attacks 1 enemy, fills the turn meter of a random ally by 15%, fills the turn meter of all other allies by 15% if this attack is critical. A2 attacks one enemy, places a bomb debuff that detonates after 2 turns. This debuff cannot be resisted, which means you don't have to build her with accuracy. I assume it's a her. And then when it's booked, it detonates after 1 turn instead of 2. And then on the A3, exchanges remaining HP levels. It balances the HP. She swaps HP with someone and gains an extra turn and decreases the cooldown of this skill by 3 turns if the champion HP drops below 20%. And then she has a speed aura in arena battles by 28%. I mean, she's an alright champion. If you're going to go with no resistance in the arena, maybe you can take some people down, but I think you need more than one, to be honest. I think this is my second Astrolith, so maybe that's a viable strat for me in the future, but I'm probably not going to build her very quickly. I might do it in the background just while I'm working on other things. On to the next one. So that's 2 legendaries already, which is fantastic. You couldn't ask for more. A Gizzard the Sigilled. Yeah, 2 legendaries. You can't ask for much more. It's quite good luck considering it's not a ×2 event. Your Tricata, not a champion I've looked at. An epic, not interested in the epics. Only interested in going through the kit of legendaries. Sepulchre Sentinel, a great champion, has a block debuffs, so again a good champion. Block debuffs for clan boss. Now that I'm saying this, the ×10 must be a block debuffs ×10. We'll go back and look at that. I'll pull the last sacred now and we'll see. We'll go back and check what these champions are known for, what they're good for. Luria has a freeze. I will just quickly go on to that. Freeze, all enemies. Attacks all enemies, has a chance of placing freeze. I tried to build her. I thought she was going to be the answer to my crowd control problems in arena, and she's so squishy. She just died all the time and was not useful. So yeah, guys, let's check out this. So Sepulchre Sentinel has a block buffs. I don't know about Achak. No, I don't think Achak has a. Oh yeah, block buffs on Achak. This guy, Scathix have a block buff. Yeah, I mean, block debuffs. I keep saying block buffs. There's a block debuff champion, but Madame Cerise doesn't. Block debuffs. Yeah, so this must be a block debuff ×10, which is actually quite good. I would say early game block debuffs and late game, to be honest, is one of the most important buffs you can give your allies and yourselves. It's essentially blocking any incoming debuffs coming from the enemies, but that includes some from the clan boss, so you can set yourself up early game, mid game and late game with clan boss. These champions are a lot more accessible in late game, so yeah, I think early to mid game, these champions, getting them speed tuned and getting them into your clan boss team makes a huge difference in your progress. So yeah, I definitely think this ×10, if you can pull some good champions in it, if you have excess shards, then I do think it's something you should go for, because some of these champions can make quite a huge difference to your account. But yeah, now that we know that, I wish I'd said it at the start. I'll just go into the Summer Rush event and we'll just collect these points, make sure we've got enough. Oh, I need to pull one more. I need to pull one more Ancient and then I've got enough points. Let's go back. God, imagine if I got one more Legendary out of this. That would be something to see. But 2 Legendaries out of that many is pretty good going. It's a rare, so not bothered, but it's the best rare starter, so happy with that, but I'm never going to build him. He's just going to be fed. What I'll do, guys, I'll go onto the other account and we'll start pulling those champions, but I will pull these while you guys are here. I'll collect these while you guys are here. There we go. So there's my second Loriaca, Greathoof Loriaca. We'll just go and see if she's ready to collect. Make sure that I've done it right. There she is. 105. What a shame I pulled her. It means I wouldn't have had to go through all that trouble for a champion that I'm not going to use. But hey ho, that's how it goes. I'll log on to my other account, guys, and then we'll pull those. And here we are, guys, on the Kale account. Let's hope my luck follows me from the other one, from my other account, my Galek account, because my Kale account really needs a Brogni, mostly. So 7 shards on here, guys. I've made just enough room so I don't overpull, because I get a bit trigger happy on the mouse sometimes. So let's just get into it. First one. If I can get 2 legendaries out of these, I will be pretty happy. 4 in total out of that many shards would just be sort of ludicrous. An Ator, not for me, thank you. But yeah, yeah, pulling that many legendaries would be incredible. Pulling a Brogni though, if it's just one legendary on this account, pulling a Brogni will be the one that I want. Catacombs Counsellor, he's the first ally attack champion that I made, and I actually used him quite a lot. The Sepulchre Sentinel on this account as well. Yeah, I used the Catacomb Counsellor quite a lot, but he was vastly outscaled by other champions that I got later on. Including Kreela, so yeah, not used anymore. An Ender Moonbeam, I can't say his name every time I pull him. I've pulled him about 6 times now and I can never say his name, but a great looking champion nonetheless. A Lady Annabelle, no thank you. On to the next one. I want to see legendaries, I want to see a Brogni, that's all I want. A Nogoroyo, yeah. Nogoroyo, one of these sick Shadowkin champions. I absolutely love their skins. I've said in other videos that there's a bit of a soft spot in my heart for sort of Japanese folklore and these sort of I guess folklore looking champions of the Shadowkin factions. My favourite faction because of it. On to the next one though. Don't need to look at him any longer. I just want Brogni. Not a Brogni. Warden can go away. And that's my last one. See, that's why I only gave myself a certain amount of room, because I would have just kept going if not. Let's go and check we got the points for this. I'm not going to pull greathoofloriaca until a champion chase tournament, hopefully on the next fusion. And then I'll be able to use her as points for the next fusion. Hopefully it's going to be a good one. Hopefully it's another Pythian or a Helicath or something like that. There we go. Collected. Go and check that we've got 105 points. I wish I hadn't have skipped that champion training event earlier on last week, because I wouldn't have had to do half of this, but we've done it nonetheless. We've got Loriaca in the bag. She's not a very good champion, but she is a legendary. She might get buffed in the future. We didn't get Brogni, but that's just luck of the draw, I guess. But what I'll do is I'll start saving all of my sacreds for the next one, and then the next fusion we can blow it out the water with all the shards that I've got, and do as we normally do and have a bit of an easier time and not miss any events on the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.